at the Green Turtle. Harry Mays, Eytan Shander, you know them well from around the Delaware Valley, have a show that they have titled Derailed. And it is fitting tonight, of course, following yesterday's loss to the Cowboys. I turn over with an incredible amount of pride and honor. I turn over the microphone to Eytan Shander and Harry Mays.
Joe Krause, we appreciate it, man. Thank you, and it's a pleasure. It's an honor to be on the road here, Harry, the Green Turtle.
Yeah, we love taking this show on the road.
Anytime we can get a chance to be out here in the public and be with the people.
Yeah,
your people.
Well, yes, they're my people. Thank you very much, and it's great.
This is your neck of the woods.
To just be a couple of arms lengths away from a bar it just puts me at ease. It puts me in a sense of comfort. You know what I mean? I feel safe. You know, we're all looking for safety in today's world, and I feel safe and comfortable in the Green Turtle.
You're going to need that following what happened yesterday.
Oh, I know, because yesterday ruined the whole year.
Yeah,
I mean, it really did.
Yeah, I'm not here to save you on any 8% crap.
We talk about Derailed as the name of this podcast, and Krause said it exactly right. It's apropos today because the Eagles' loss yesterday to the Cowboys derailed the football season. It derailed because there are no playoffs. I don't want to hear about mathematical chance. They're done.
No, but
they're out of it.
What would you get anyway if you got an 8% chance of getting in?
Well, we're going to talk about that too, because that has been.
I hate this 8% stuff.
No, I know. Because everybody's got metrics.
Not 8 Mile.
Everybody's got metrics. You're not going to do that to me today. No, you're not. I know that's your whole point of coming out here today in your Sixers T-shirt. But anyway,
I've been wearing this since 5 a.m.
Yeah,
on
I know.
Fox
I
29.
can smell it. Yeah, it could probably stand up on its own right now.
It's probably true. It's accurate.
But anyway, the 8%, because every network has some sort of metrics now.
Yeah.
That, with the football power index and the football prognostication index and that index and this.
Well, are you talking
done.
about power rankings?
I'll give
or
you
are
an
talking
index.
about 538
anything.
percentage?
Yeah, anything. Everybody's got one now because everything's about numbers.
Right, that's the difference.
The Eagles are done. And it's derailed the football season. It's derailed my winter as it gets started because I look, these months as the days, we're getting close to the shortest day of the year, coming up in a couple of 10 days or so away from here. There's darkness. It's cold. Football is the only salvation that I have.
Well, you can watch college football.
Well, yeah, but that's bowl games.
Watch Temple's bowl game.
Pretty much, it's just like how long until Alabama wins another championship? It's pretty much the college.
You're not going to bet or watch Notre Dame Clemson?
Yes, I will. But my point is that the NFL is something that takes me into February.
I don't believe you. I've known you long enough to say that this is what you feel right now.
Yes.
This is exactly like you're not making this up.
No, I'm not. No, I don't make up anything.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just using it's a qualifier part of the statement. Like I know you don't make stuff up, but you're not saying anything you don't feel. But I think when football returns in your life, and listen, real football, playoff football, storyline football, getting back to the postseason, not the Eagles, but just in general. You're going to be watching.
Well, of course I'm going to be watching, but I'm going to be watching it with a different view, from a different lens, and where I won't really have my heart invested in it. Is my point? Like, yeah, of course I can wager on games. Of course I do that. I found a new man crush yesterday. It was official, and we're going to get to that because
I've been trying to find another Mahomes on the planet that I can reference, and I can't.
My man crush in the NFL are getting old now. One's in his 40s, the other's in his late 30s. These guys are going.
Well, there are not many in the 40s right now.
Right, yeah, it's Tom Brady, and the other one's Phillip Rivers. But they're getting
How old is
old. I don't know how much longer either one of them can evade father time. But at some point, you got to pick up another one. Now, of course, I've got Carson Wentz, and we're going to talk a lot about Carson Wentz today.
Yeah,
because
not in the same breath as these other two guys.
Right, but
I'd like some distance between that conversation.
Yes, we will. But I'm just saying, I think a lot of people, at least in Eagle land, based on what I was getting on social media yesterday, and we're going to get to this in the next segment.
I can't wait to hear these tweets that you have
are
laid
falling out of love with Carson Wentz already because of the awful first half that he had against the Cowboys, and of course he looked awful against the Saints a few weeks prior to that.
Well, the offense,
they're already bailing on him.
The offense, it's not. Well, I'm not bailing, but I'm beyond frustrated, and I think that there's some obvious reasons and maybe some more subtle reasons that we can talk about Wentz as far as why he's been struggling this year. But it's not just a result of this past week. Now, let's start with a hypothetical, because I think that so much was put on what would have happened if they won yesterday?
Right.
Now think about this. Sunday comes out, Sunday evening, they find a way to win that game in overtime.
Right.
Same thing plays out, and there's so much that we can talk about that they blew themselves up on their own.
Right, but it would have been another come-from-behind win for the quarterback, and I think it would have really given the team sort of a jolt that they need going into Los Angeles this coming Sunday.
To an extent, yes. But this is where I think that we've removed some sense of reality from us. Listen, I get it. The first halves of these games have been so bad that I think people purposely black out. I think people purposely just go to their own special place and they remove the reality of watching this. It's dreadful to watch the offense in the first half. Now, with that being said, while you're right that 3 straight, now you're still in the playoffs. I think it jumped to like 58% that you can make. What type of team are we actually talking about making the playoffs?
Hey.
One that continues to put up field goals in the first half?
I don't know. I don't know. I'll take my chances on that.
Really?
All I wanted to do was have next week and then maybe have the week after that. Now it's done. It's shot. Now, if you want to get into the argument, well, they wouldn't beat the Rams, the Saints, or even the Bears in the playoffs on the road, you're probably right. Yeah, I get that. They would go to those teams as underdogs and would probably lose to all 3 of them. I get it. They weren't going to repeat as Super Bowl champs this year. But to go from being 13-3 and winning, going on that magical run with Nick Foles and winning the championship, dethroning the New England Patriots of all teams, to coming in with all the expectations of getting Wentz back and, man, we're going to go back to the playoffs. This team on paper is even better than they were last year. You know we were saying all this stuff in July and August.
I was the one saying
you and I
too.
were saying it, yes.
I was one of the idiots.
To have this thing end in a 7-9 most likely, or maybe 8-8. Maybe you get to 8-8. And no playoffs is massively disappointing.
Well, that was the lowest bar, I think, that we all set, right, at the start of the season was, listen, go back and make the playoffs.
Yeah, just make the playoffs. Get a home game.
So, well, maybe not a home game.
Well, win the division. You win the division, you get a home game. That's what we were saying.
But at the same time, I think, yes, but we would still say, okay, stuff happens, people get hurt, you can still backdoor your way, or maybe sideways your way into a wild card spot. Like, that's my point.
Okay.
Is that even if you made it as the 5th or 6th seed in the East, you're still in the playoffs. And there's still a sense of, all right, you did something to either overcome a bad start or you dealt with whatever adversity you faced at the second half of the season.
Right.
Playoffs was that low barometer.
And it would have been Carson's first playoff game.
That's true, too.
Okay.
We would have seen that.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know at this point the level of frustration that you watch this team in the first half is similar to what I felt when it was just painfully obvious that Chip Kelly was setting the game back here year 3 before he got fired. This first half offense that we've seen looks and reminds me like when Chip Kelly was purposely ruining this
football
team.
Lots of 3-and-outs. Yeah.
That's the story of the game, Harry. 3-and-outs.
28 first-quarter points as a team for the entire season. 28. That's the lowest in the NFL. I mean, that's hard to do.
I'd be shocked if another team was 4 or 5 points close.
Yeah, I don't know what the next team is, but I guarantee you they stink.
Ooh.
Okay, but the bottom line is, this is the real discussion to me is Doug Peterson. It's not so much Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, it's a year to the day, I believe, that he tore his knee in Los Angeles today. Yeah. So it's only been a year.
No.
Think about that.
And
what are we
we've
really
been through?
Yeah, but what do we expect? We expected him to come back and be Carson Wentz the MVP? No.
Why not?
Why?
The only reason I think realistically he's still dealing with the injury.
He's strengthened himself.
Yes.
I don't think he fully trusts it.
No, but you asked, though, the question you just asked.
I think it's more about Doug Peterson and what is happening with this offense. I think it's more about him.
Well, okay, there are a couple of things to your question. First and foremost, if he was fully healthy, which I wasn't sure of, but still expected, I thought Carson Wentz could come back and play at that level. Not to say that he would be the MVP, but he played at a really high level last year, and he was making decisions. He was extending plays with his feet, and that was a huge part about how defenses were not able to catch up to him.
Right.
So you have a full offseason, you get some tape on him, blah, blah, he comes back. Outside of the injury issue, there shouldn't have been a step back in how he played. Now, you bring up the coaching staff. Now, that's another variable here.
It's kind of a brain drain on the coaching staff from an offensive perspective with Reich and DiFilippo.
Well, is it really that in the sense of Carson Wentz is unable to play outside of the constraints provided to him by the coaching staff?
Well, I mean that, and also, his offensive line. I mean, did you see Jason Peters? Jason Peters, we all know, is done.
He's
right?
out.
I hope we know he's done now.
I can't see him.
Gregory was, abusing him yesterday. I think Parson presses. I think a lot of times that's why he airmails wide open receivers, which he did a few times in that game yesterday, especially in the first half. I think they were very predictable on offense.
Well, they've been like that all year.
Like a short pass near the line of scrimmage on first down, followed by a run that might get a yard or nothing, and then you got a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. That's basically what the whole first half was yesterday.
Right. That's all they.
And yet you were only down 6-0.
Well, that's the defense. That's why when I try to separate what exactly has gone wrong with this football team, we've seen now, and this is another example of the defense just doing everything possible. Listen, you can't tell me that giving up 9 points to any team in the NFL through 3 is not a good recipe for you to win that football game.
Yeah.
So if your defense is giving up 9 points in the first 3 quarters of a football game,
they played their reir ends off.
Your
yesterday.
offense should be able to.
No, I agree with you.
And that's why I sidestep
I haven't brought up
around.
the officials yet either.
Well, no.
Yeah.
And
I'm talking about the offense.
That's a different conversation. Yeah. Well, that's almost a different segment at this point.
Yeah.
But the problem is I can sidestep around giving up 600 yards. I can sidestep around bend but not break because that's a real thing. Like, that's a real exact thing in the NFL where some defenses give up a hell of a lot of yardage.
But once you get in the red zone,
exactly,
they shut you down, they turn you
up.
over, or they make you kick field goals.
Rasul Douglas played his tail off. We saw that. Michael Bennett played
was all over the
all
place.
year, right.
And by the way, is he wearing a tank top?
No,
I've never seen a jersey like what Michael Bennett wears with the Eagles.
It's amazing.
It's like he doesn't have shoulder pads. He's got like a tank top.
Well, his pads are shorter. It's almost like he's cut his pads off.
Yeah.
So his pads are so
That's
short.
got to be an NFL rule, uniform violation. Wouldn't
I
you think so?
No. I listen. Michael Bennett appears to be so meticulous that he would go to the rule book or he would go to the local liaison to the officials and say, all right, I need the exact number as far as how wide this shoulder pad can be. And then he went to like 1/8 of an inch.
Less than that.
Exactly.
Yes.
Just so he could slide it. But it's genius because you can't grab him.
No, I know.
But you're right. Bennett was playing. Jim Schwartz, there are problems that you can look at with Jim Schwartz and say, all right, scheme, why are guys playing off the line? But we still haven't seen a full healthy defense. I don't look at the defense like a problem, but when you give up 9 points and the offense is trash, week in and week out.
Yeah.
This was not a Cowboys matchup this past weekend thing.
No, I mean, you look at that, that's game planning. Right. I mean, we always used to it became sort of a running joke about the first 15 plays were scripted under Andy Reid and all this kind of thing. But like what is Doug doing during the week, and what is he seeing on film, and then going to the play chart and saying, all right, I think this is going to work here. When we're in second and whatever, this is the 4 or 5 plays that I think we should go. Like, what is he doing?
Do you know the last time we've had this conversation where you said that verbatim?
No.
Was to me. When you and I were actually working together on the Fanatic.
Oh, way back when.
Right. Because
that was Chip Kelly then, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we were having these conversations about what is this team doing?
Well, it was an inside zone or outside zone, basically, with Chip Kelly.
Right, but it was so
Read
predictable.
option.
Now, it doesn't mean that Doug Peterson is Chip Kelly. What it means is that the NFL will figure you out so fast and so quick. There is zero adjustment.
Especially teams that you play twice a year that have a good defense like the Dallas Cowboys. And that is a good defense.
They played better the first time around than they did this time around. Now, here's the thing that I'd like to throw at you, all right? Golden Tate, Josh Adams. Josh Adams represents more than just Josh Adams, but these two names. Because the discussion now has been either these guys, Adams more so too little too late, Golden Tate, a mistake to trade for him. I don't think that it was a mistake to trade for Tate. I don't blame Josh Adams and other backs for not being better this year. I blame the coaching staff for not being able to implement Golden Tate and for having guys that are successfully running the football then abandoning it for whatever reason.
I totally agree with you, and it's really evident yesterday when you see Golden Tate hardly being targeted. He had 3 targets yesterday. In fact, 3 targets, 1 catch for a mere 7 yards. Since he's been here in 5 games, he's only had 30 targets, 19 catches, and has scored 1 touchdown. He had a big game against the Redskins, and basically I think had 7 catches on 7 targets. You take that game out, he's done nothing.
And his biggest catches came off broken plays.
And you put that up against the other midseason trade on the other side of the field in Amari Cooper and what he has done for that Dallas offense and Dak Prescott. It's incredible.
He's going to win General Manager of the Year.
Oh, you think so?
He's up there. He's got to be a top 3 candidate right now.
Is that really an award?
Well, I think so. Howie, wasn't he up for it last year? I don't know. I don't even know who won it last year, but I can guarantee you this. Jerry Jones is going to be top 3 this year. Maybe Stephen Jones gets it.
I think it's Stephen Jones.
But Jerry Jones' name is on the award.
When he's not cleaning Jerry's glasses, he's out scouting players and getting ready for the draft.
Who has less responsibility down there, Jason Garrett or Stephen Jones?
I think Jason Garrett.
Really? That says a lot.
I believe so.
You're scraping the bottom of the barrel right there. All right.
So much more to get into with this game,
we
too.
do.
Yeah.
We have a lot to dive into beyond. We have just scratched the surface here with Carson Wentz and the issues that he's having and really the season moving forward. What can really be taken from this? Harry Mays, Eytan Shander. It is a live edition of Derailed at the Green Turtle here in North Wales, and it's just an absolute blast. We're so thrilled to be out here. Food, drink, everything you need. There are 4 locations. There's one right by us.
There's one right by you and me over in
Correct.
East Norriton. That's a great spot. I've been over there a few times.
The 2 in Delaware as well, and it's just a beautiful spot to come out and eat, drink, complain. We're here for you.
Yeah,
right?
and there's a Monday Night Football game tonight that's actually
Sixers,
a good game.
Exactly. There's a lot of things
Sixers
happening here,
yeah.
too. We've got you covered. Plenty of TVs. It's not just Harry and I bitching about the game. We promise you that, Joe.
We've got you covered, or you have us covered, and Covers has us covered tonight on covers.com.